This is Justin for May 16th, 2024. Take a look at SPX, and here's the scoop. So I just did a video and had it muted, had the mic muted. So here's my second attempt to hopefully when this one's done, there'll be audio. Started to watch the clip back. I'm like, I don't hear anything. Realize I forgot to hit that unmute button. So anyway, here's the recap. Try and make it quicker because uh, it should be quicker. So I've got this channel drawn in from yesterday. We were pushing into those levels today, but right out the gate, I was looking for some resistance to come in. We'll push back down. Hey, we did that, but then we bounced right back off and rallied this way. So lost on that trade. Put in just a stair step, 5 bear candles. It was the only selling we had come in. And then we pushed up out of that channel. And when we're out of that channel, I'm like, all right, how high are we really going to go? And I'm like, I really want to short this, but you don't know, is it just going to continue on up? In this case, we put a really nice inverted hammer, some more hammers here, inverted hammers, and we got some selling to come in. So I was getting in bearish here on this candle. Didn't get my order in fast enough, got filled on this candle, and then actually hit target on this candle, which was phenomenal. But I had to wait through all of this, and during this, the option was actually worth less than when I bought it, and I was down in the position. Now I could have closed out, taken the loss, um, but I held down, and I was actually not watching the market during that move. Sometimes that's for the best, right? Where you're not actually watching it. Because um, I had to get to a meeting, and so I was packing up my stuff and looked at my phone once I got outside to head over another building for the meeting. And I did a double take. I'm like, wait, I'm out of that position. What happened? Um, so I'll show you the option trade. The other thing I was going to point out here is we had a couple of instances where we had like a 1-2, where the one was the high, and then we had a two where it was kind of about the same high near it. You could do like a 1-2-3 here, and then we got that rollover. I kind of have like a 1-2-3 here. It happened a couple times today. I just thought it was really interesting. It's like, okay, we're getting some bigger pushes down, bigger pushes down, bigger pushes down on that second or third, and in this case, the second also, not the second here. So it's just interesting to see, like, all right, we're trying to retest coming back up to some of these levels. Do they hold? And the Bears held, which is pretty phenomenal. So I think that's about it on this. We came down at the end of the day to this level. I've got these channels on here as the day's going on. I'm drawing channels. I'm down into like a 1 minute chart, 30-second chart, 15-second chart, trying to just see, hey, how are these things forming? Where's the structure? And so if I zoom back out, you can see where this one's coming from. This one is coming from a little while ago. So this is going back to earlier in May 9th. Actually, that's just last Thursday. But we interacted with that a few different times. So we kind of held that level through here, broke down below it, tried to rally up to it, gapped up, and this was on Tuesday or no Wednesday, yesterday, gapped up, pretty much held the upper bound of that and rallied, even with an S curve. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to leave it on there because it's interacting. And also the yellow one, I'm going to go out to an hourly here. So the green is kind of this bear move. The yellow is this uptrend move. And so now we've pushed up more aggressively, much more quickly than we have been trending with the yellow. So I'm anticipating, hey, we should have some pulling back. What's going to happen when we interact with this yellow line again? Are we going to just chop around here, pull back steeper? I don't know. I try and do different colors. I didn't realize I had yellow down and yellow up right now. That's my bad. I try and switch the color around just to make sure when I'm talking about it makes sense. Um, but you can clearly see the bottom edge has not really held anything. Like we had a little bit of interaction down here. We've been much steeper. And then these dotted dash lines are the EMAs from yesterday. I have not updated them yet for today. So if I go back down to the 3 minute, you can just see it's like, oh, there's some levels we're interacting with here. And kind of nice to see the confluence. Here's that same yellow channel copied over to just a red on I was about to say Thinkorswim. I don't know if they're still calling it Thinkorswim, but I will. But this is switched from TD Ameritrade to Schwab. this week. So I just had to actually go through and reset up all my charts, just the way I like it for these videos. This is the 5300 put that I was talking about. I was in at this candle. I was out at 5 right here. So I bought at 1, and this is where it got lower than that. And I had to stop down at 0.5. So I was risking 50 bucks and made 400 gain, which is phenomenal. So I also could have just been buying for 1 and like 6 or 9 minutes later been out in this candle. But I saw this this peak here coming in and set up the order and didn't get filled on that candle, but got filled over here because it just kind of chopped around pretty quickly. Could have been out for double, could have doubled the option from 1 to 2, but that wasn't my setup. I wanted more. I wanted to come back into the highs from earlier, and that's where I set the 5, thinking we should take out the low on SPX. We did. That was the other thing I wanted to point out on the lows. Let me go back. Let's do it on here. So we ended up having this low, which was a really strong bounce. And then we took that out here, took that out, took that out, took that out, and took that out. So we had 5 lower lows on the day. And obviously buying came in on 4 of them, but there wasn't any more time left on the last one. So I just thought it was really interesting. This was bearish. These 4 were bullish. And then we ended the day with another bear one. So it's a matter of, okay, we've made a new low, bear candle on a daily, kind of an inverted hammer. Are we going to have some more selling, or is this enough of a rest or a pullback to just let things continue on bullish? So the other thing I wanted to point out with this same option is at the end of the day, this thing was worth 0.05. So that's $5 as at the low with 6 minutes left to go in the day, basically. You probably could have bought this for maybe 10, maybe just have an order out for 0.25, absolute zero. Just you're just gonna risk 25 bucks, see what it can do. And it moved really nicely. Well, it interacted with this level and had a really nice sell-off there. And if I had this red line on my chart at the time, on my phone even, I could have looked at it and be like, oh, okay, I'll short it there. Quickly set up an order as it's getting up there and look to play that. The other way to do it is looking at a different option. So I looked at a couple options here. So I've got the 5325 call on the top left. I've got the 5300 call on the top right. Ended up being worthless at the end of the day. At one point, it was up at about 10 and just lost all of its value in those same 6 minutes. And then the put, here's the 5305 put. You could have bought this, maybe just have an order for 0.5 or $1, so you're going to spend $100 and see what it can do. Now you got to realize only risk the full amount that you're okay to lose. So you're going to put $100 on the trade, expect to lose the $100. This doesn't always work. It's a gamble. If you have an edge, maybe it's an educated gamble, or if you have studied this as much as I have, you're more comfortable to do it. But take your time to understand what's actually happening, because if it doesn't work, or if it works and you're not out, then you're going to get a call from your broker. If it doesn't work, you just keep on losing. And I've lost so much. I've blown up so many accounts doing this and risking $100. It's like right now I'm only okay risking closer to 25 or 50 on one of these because I can do that for so much longer. Um, but there's also holding muscle because you're literally holding this into the last couple minutes of the day. Now I like to be out by 2:58 Central Time. If it's not filling me, I'll still be moving the trade around just to get out for something at 2:59, trying to see if it'll fill. And it doesn't always happen. And when it's worthless, just trying to save a couple bucks. If I'm in one contract, it's like I'll save $5 and put in the next trade, because it's so inexpensive. But I just want to point out the difference between the 5305, which went from, let's say you bought at 0.5. You had the order out there. That was the lowest price it had gotten all day. At one point, you were still down a little bit because it got down to 0.3. But very quickly, it went from 0.5 up to, say, 5. 5 would have been a great place. It had been above there early in the day, but you're holding into the last at least 3-minute candle, maybe in the last minute or two, just depends on how that candle is actually moving. Versus, so that's that would have worked out really nice. That would have been, from point 0.5 to 5, that's a 10x. If you go from, here's this one, the 5,300 again, that I said I was in for one and went to five. Well, it didn't do that here. I could have bought for one, wouldn't have gone to five. Maybe one to two is what I could do at the end of the day. But again, have to be watching it, have to be ready to adjust the order, have to be completely available. I was not able to do that today. And so I didn't have that kind of a trade right into the last couple of minutes of the day, even though the opportunity was there and the edge was there. The edge being, here, are we going to hold this level? We're going to continue to go downward in the angle we've got here, and really, just see how this plays out. So I don't have it drawn in, but we were a little bit steeper there, a little widening there, um, relatively flat at that point until it took out the low here. So I also had this drawn in. So you kind of had a bit of a wedge, and then that started to break out and then just collapsed. So, but all of this helps to kind of form the story early in the day for, are we going to have an edge late in the day? Because like if the market had closed here instead, then that means we just chopped into the close. And that happens way more. Or you pick an edge saying, oh, okay, well, here's the resistance. We're going to roll over. And then it closes and it didn't roll over. It just stayed sideways, or it actually goes up a little bit more. And you can be on the wrong side of this way too easily. There's ways around that. You can buy a call and a put. You could sell a call and a put further out. But again, you want to have the right amount of margin to cover the volume you're doing and realize that you need to understand the probability is, where is it going to get to. And even this, it went from about 53.10 down to 53, or down to 52.97. It's about a 13-point move in 6 minutes, in 3 minute candles. Like, that is quick. You've got to be ready to do whatever you need to work your way out of that trade. Or you got to look at tomorrow's expiration options. So 1 DTE instead of 0 DTE. All those are other options that are available. It's just a matter of understanding, you're going to put a little bit more into that trade. If you still don't want to hold it overnight, you got to get out of it. So it's, the pressure is still there to get out of it. I guess there's added pressure if it's going to expire and you're going to be in the money. You got to have that order to get out, or you will be getting a call from your broker. Pretty sure that's how that works. So that is about the same things that I said in my previous recording of this. Hope this helps. This is Justin's Scoop. Today, take a look at SPX. Thanks.